Hi, this is Ann from shopbakersnook.com, and today what we're going to learn is how to smooth out our buttercream icing using a paper towel. You can use any brand of paper towel, but you want to make sure it doesn't have a really big pattern into it, or that's going to leave a pattern marking into your icing. So you want one that's pretty straightforward, no big ridges, anything like that into it. So we're going to get started here. First, what I have here is an 8-inch round cake that I have baked in yellow, and we're going to level our cake. I like to use a serrated knife to cut my cakes. It gets a nice better edge and it doesn't tear your cake as you're cutting it. So what I want to do is I'm going to level the cake. Now these cake tops that you cut off, these are great to make your cake pops with, so you don't have to waste this. Now I'm going to set this on a wax board. I like to use a wax board because that has a coating on it so the cake and icing won't soak into the board. Also, you usually want to use a board that's 2 sizes bigger than your cake. So I have a 10-inch board here for my 8-inch round cake. Now I have it on my turntable, and here's a tip. If your table that you're using is too low, take a cake pan and set your turntable up on that cake pan so you're not hunched over trying to ice your cake. You have it at a nice height. So first we're going to fill our cake. Now to fill our cake, we need to make a dam with our icing so that the filling doesn't come out the sides. For this, I'm going to use a nice big round tip. This is a 1A. Put it down inside my bag. Now to fill your bag, you want to cup it over your hand. Then I'm going to take my spatula with the icing, put some of that down inside my bag, and then I scrape my spatula on my thumb to get the icing off. Alright, so we have our icing in there. And now I'm going to just take and make a nice big round edge. Just like that. What this is going to be is this is going to be a dam that's going to hold my filling to keep the filling from pushing outside the cake. So today we're going to be using whole cherry filling. All I do is cut a little piece off the end and squeeze that right into my cake. Now you don't want to put too much filling in there because you don't want your top cake to be sliding around. Now I'm going to take my spatula and smooth out that filling all the way to the edge of my icing. There, now my filling is at the same height as my icing, and now we're ready to put our second cake on there. So we're going to level that. Now, if you notice, when I'm going to put this on here, I'm going to flip this cake over. You always want the cut sides of your cake to be in the center so that you don't have to smooth your icing onto the cut cake and then you'll get less crumbs. So there, now we have our cake all filled and we're ready to ice it with our buttercream icing. Okay, now we have our cake ready for icing. What I'm going to use is you want to use at least a 16 or an 18-inch pastry bag, and I'm going to use with that a cake icer tip. This is going to be the easiest, quickest way to get the icing onto your cake. So I'm going to put that tip right down inside my bag. You always want to cup your bag over because you don't want to get icing around the top of your bag because that'll make a mess. And now we're going to fill it with our buttercream icing. Now this is going to hold a good amount of icing. This should hold enough icing in this one bag to ice my entire cake here. Okay, so now we have our buttercream icing and we're ready to ice our cake. So you want to take this cake icer tip and you want to hold it not all the way against your cake, just slightly above the cake. Squeeze and turn your turntable as you're squeezing. See, I'm not moving my bag, I'm moving the turntable. So now we're going to do a row above that. You want to keep twisting it to get a nice tight thing on there. And if you miss a little bit, just go back. Now we're going to do the top, squeeze, turn my turntable, squeeze, turn my turntable, and just like that, our cake is completely covered in icing. So now we're going to smooth it out. Take your offset spatula and just smooth the cake. Now we don't need to get it perfect at this point. If you need a little more icing, just take a little bit, because we're going to smooth it out with our paper towel at the end. So you just want to get all that pushed down. Then I'm going to take my icing smoother, hold it against there, and spin my turntable. And then I just want to do the same thing on the top. Kind of push that icing in towards the center. Take my icing smoother, spin it around the top. Now at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to let this icing crust. So we want our cake to set for about 5 to 10 minutes till when I touch it, it doesn't have that wet look to it. See how it's coming off on my hand? I don't want that to be able to do that. So we're just going to let this set and then we're going to paper towel it dry. Okay, now our cake has set for about 5 to 10 minutes. So now when I touch it, none of the icing will come off onto my hand, so I know that it's crusted enough to be able to do this. So what I'm going to do is set the paper towel against the cake and then just take my hand and run it back and forth to smooth it out. And you'll see what it's doing is it's getting rid of all the spatula marks that we have in the icing. So I'm going to move it over a little bit further. We're going to keep doing this all the way around the cake. Now this will add a slight texture to your icing, but when you were to just look at it, it will just look smooth. If you want to get really close to it, you will see a little bit of a texture no matter what paper towel that you're using. Okay, now that I went all the way around, I'm going to go to the top and I kind of want to push it in. This is going to give me that rounded top edge like rolled fondant looks. And then I'm going to take on the top, run my hand all the way around the top, and then I like to go back and just do one quick around the sides one more time just so my sides are nice and straight. See, this is quick, simple, easy to do. It'll make your cakes look so professional. And there we have it. We have our smooth buttercream icing cake using a paper towel. So we hope you will try this technique and visit our website at shopbakersnook.com for lots of other products, tips, and ideas.